Hello and welcome to Third Eye Thinkers. I'm your host, Michelle Welch.
Hello, I'm your host, Megan Benanti. Thanks so much for listening in today.
So today we're really excited. We're doing live readings.
Yep.
We've decided to do that the first
Wednesday
of the month, of every month, correct?
Yep.
So for you guys that are listening live, you can send in a chat or what other ways, Matt? Just basically to, would you chime in and tell them how they can, if you're listening live?
They could just leave a comment on the on whichever Facebook page that you're watching it on. That's going to be the easiest way for us to find it. So leave a comment, and we will hopefully see it and give your question to, or I will hopefully see it and give your question to Megan and Michelle.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Yep.
And I am going to, we are live here. I'm going to share this to my page too.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So, you have a question up yet?
Yeah, we have a question from Tess. It's not a specific question, it's for a general reading.
Okay.
And her name is Tess.
All right, Tess. So, let's see what we've got for you. Okay. So, charm-wise, from the magic box, once again, we got the director's chair. I don't know how that one-
Always. There is something, you guys, about this director's chair.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have one of those made.
We have a lot of strong leaders around
Yes,
here,
we
I
do.
think. Okay, so Tess, we've got 9 of Pentacles in reverse and the Hierophant in reverse. So we're definitely dealing with some business stuff today. And I'm picking up that you might be feeling a little insecure or questioning your growth for business this year, and I really think you need to focus on an actual path, which doesn't normally come up with this card, but I'm really drawing in on the pentacles in a row that directly have a path for you. And it might be, too, that what you did last year isn't going to function as well for you this year. So, because just things are changing, and I think you're going to have to look at things differently. Also, there might be a bit of restructuring that you need to do, and it might be branching out on your own. In some ways, it's not going to be tied into what other people think you should do. And so you're going to have to trust your own intuition on this and kind of follow your gut. What did you get, Michelle?
I think that's a lot of what I'm seeing here. I'll just add on to it. It looks as though, to me, maybe whereas when Megan said go out on your own, it also may be a matter of whereas they were really maybe big ventures before, there might be some smaller deals that you are working on that add up to big deals. So you might have more, I'm getting more small, not a waste
dinky.
of time,
Yeah.
but just maybe smaller deals, and so look into those, and those are going to add up, and maybe that those would work out for you in your business a little more quickly. I do see, and I know Tess, and I will say, and Megan does not. So I think that's a really good reading for her. And she's very much the director. She's very much in a manifester of her life. So I'd say, Tess, just keep doing that, but be willing to look at it from a different perspective concerning the way things have operated. You've been in your business a long time, and so look at it from maybe some different angles.
Yeah, and this might also be considering some new forms of media, technology, and just a different way of doing things than maybe you've always done traditionally. So.
Yeah, I think that's really, really spot on, very good for her right now. So, I mean, I can't speak for her, but yeah, it makes sense to me.
Okay,
So good reading.
deal. Yeah.
So,
I've got one in here,
okay.
if you'd like. This comes to us from Asmina Pirani. She says, "Hi, I have a question. I have a small business I started last summer. I'm wondering how it might go, how it will go this year."
Okay, Asmina. So, for you, we picked the unicorn. That's kind of exciting. So, mythical and magical creature. And so that definitely brings in magic and inspiration. And it is a 3-legged unicorn. So that's also, you might be compensating and learning to work and compensate for things that you don't have as much skill in, or picking up, just, well, we all do. We fill in where we lack. And so that might be coming up a bit with that.
All right, Esme. Now, I'm going to say that it feels as if it maybe it initially took off a little bit quickly, not maybe right at the very beginning, but you felt some growth and you felt some momentum. But it feels like now it may be that you're kind of like a little disillusioned with it. And I'm not trying to sound negative here, but I'm going to tell you that I would just really evaluate, is this worth the effort that you're putting in? Is it worth the time? It feels as though, the unicorn's kind of upside down, pointing
I get
down,
that.
and just I feel a little disillusionment with it. It felt you wanted to go off a lot more quickly potentially than it did, and it's just again, just evaluate: is it worth the time, the energy? I know it's something you probably care a lot about, but I would evaluate.
Yeah, and also just be careful. I don't know if it's you that's receiving this or if you're doing it, but kind of watch out for stepping on people's toes right now. Or if you're feeling like you've been receiving that from someone else, it might be time to find your voice and kind of stand up for that, especially if this is your business. So,
yeah. Somebody feels like they might be a little bit, I agree with that, a little domineering force. And it's made you wonder, it feels like, whether or not this is worth it. So you really need to evaluate again. Evaluate really from a business perspective, but also from an energetic time spent in your life perspective.
yeah. And that's also just cluing in on that, the broken unicorn. That, think about it. How hard do you want to work? And is it, because I do think things can pay off, but it's really going to be your choice on that.
I agree.
So
Completely agree with that.
cool.
Yeah. We're reading quickly today.
I know that can happen.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Maxim had a question. Where'd it go? I got to find my phone.
I remember it.
Yes,
I
I'm having a little trouble with school, notably computer science. What can I do to improve my grades? All right, let's get a charm for that.
Computer science.
Sorry, the charms are going to be really noisy here.
Yeah, and my
Ooh.
shuffling just went along. Oh, interesting.
We got a gas mask.
That one is the gas mask.
Yeah, so I mean, just looking at the charm, to me, that's noting to say, take a moment and breathe. And also, if you might not be seeing it real clearly, and that's something to take note of, because the mask is it's not promoting visibility for you. And so, yes, I could say focus, but there's also, I just feel like maybe you need to take the filters off and really hone in on what you need to see. Interesting. We got King of Wands and King of Swords. So a couple of things I'm just picking up on, that you feel there is some pressure on you to achieve, that people have high expectations of you, but also that you are so capable, and you just need to really commit to this. I would say you've got pressure from your dad and probably also from your teacher. When I look at this, that they're like, oh, come on, really? Like, you can't do this? You got to be kidding me. What do you see, Michelle?
I saw that, but I also, I will validate, I can't validate, but I will agree. I can't validate what Maxim feels. But what really struck me is when you said that he's totally capable. Maxim, you have everything you need to succeed in this. A little bit of what I'm getting is kind of not the, oh, I'm bored, but really, do I have to take these steps to get to maybe the fun part of it? And he said specifically computer science,
Yes.
right? So there's a lot of return in that, but there's also a lot of upfront, just laborious things that you're asked to do. I feel like you really want to get into the creative space of it, and but it also takes that thoughtful doing step by step process for computer science also. So you've got everything you need, just buckle down a little bit, and then you will at some point get into the creative space of it.
Yeah, I would agree.
And
with that.
it might behoove you actually to have a tutor, just to consider tutoring. So if they offer it at your school, make sure you go and also if wherever you're taking computer science. But if not, you might want to look into it. And by the way, I feel like it's something you could actually eventually tutor yourself. It's just that you have to get past some of the stuff that you don't enjoy doing.
Yes, and this particular King of Swords looks a little bit resistant. And energetically, I'm feeling that's probably you, but I do think, yeah, you could learn from someone on this, so that looks good.
A lot of the times when we have people in our lives who are maybe putting a little pressure on us, teachers or parents, a lot of the times it's because there's different reasons, but sometimes it's because they know what you are capable of. And so just believe in yourself that you are capable and do your very best. And that as long as you can say, I'm doing my very best. But I do think you have more skill sets than maybe you give yourself credit for.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
All right. If you're ready for another one, I've got one for you.
Yeah.
We're ready.
We've got one here from Melissa. It says, "Hi, ladies. I'm trying to manifest what partner will come into my life. Could you tell me more about him?"
Oh, that sounds exciting. Okay. All right. Oh, well, we got a cornucopia. So that's what we want. Bountiful with men. All right. And Michelle's pulling up the card.
Turn that one.
I will say, though, just looking at this cornucopia, there is a lot coming out of it. And so, sometimes you might be looking at the fact that being overwhelmed by choice, and you're going, oh, no, I'm not getting asked out all the time. But it's that idea that we're always it's like, oh, should I keep swiping right because maybe there's something better? And I want you to kind of put that on hold. When you go out with someone, I want you to think about them as, okay, this might be my it guy, and really embrace it as wondering where that can go. Do you have any thoughts on the cards yet? I haven't gotten that far.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
It feels to me that I would expand. Reread the question, please, Matt.
Yeah, it says, "I'm trying to manifest what partner will come into my life. Can you tell me more about him?"
All right, so I love the cornucopia for manifestation. That's a beautiful symbol for manifestation, for abundance of in every area of our lives. The horn of plenty, right? But when I look at these cards, the Ten of Cups reversed and the Hierophant reversed together, it seems to me that it's more, I think you need to look at what you're looking at, what you're wanting, because I feel that it may be a little different than what you're imagining. The traditional happy family, how it's going to look for you. The relationship I feel that is going to serve you best is to look outside of your traditional way of looking at things. It's hard to explain. It just doesn't seem that you may be I don't know if you're very rigid. I'm not saying you are, but there's some certain ways that you think of things and look at things. And a lot of us do this. We'll go, well, we want this kind of person. They need to drive this kind of car. And I'm not saying that about you, but whatever it is, look more how you want to feel with this person and be more open to something that might not be what you traditionally think would be a partner.
Michelle just hit the nail on the head when she said, look at how you want to feel, how you want this relationship to feel for you. Because what I'm seeing is part of this is about actually manifesting yourself and how you see the world. And that partner is going to be the whipped cream on top of that sundae there. So, yeah, to me, there's something about the relationship that is going to be less traditional and maybe not really quite what you expected. But all that's going to happen as you fulfill yourself. And so when I understand you're manifesting for him, I'd like to see you manifest for you, how you want to feel. And then that might open that door just organically for you. Because I do find once we start to write things down, we commit to that. Give yourself a task, one thing to do. It doesn't have to be huge, but like, I'm going to be nicer to the people in the grocery store, whatever. something like that. But that's a small task and it's easy to commit to. So start with that kind of direction and thinking, and I do think that you can begin to open those doors.
I have one more thing. You did ask about specifics, and I will say this, that I feel like it may be a situation too where this person may be a little bit culturally different from you, or they may have some different belief systems than you do. And so I would say explore those. It's all right to explore those. There's something coming up with that for me, for you too, to tell you, just to be okay with exploring outside of your comfort zone just a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is going to make any sense or ever, but as something about the color blue. I don't know, blue eyes, favorite color being blue. That's kind of most people, that's their favorite color. But maybe his room is blue. I'm not sure, but something about the color blue.
Blue car, maybe?
Yeah, something seems significant with that. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. I had one on my phone here. This is from Jenny. I quit my job last Friday without anything lined up. I feel like I should be more stressed, but for some reason I'm not stressed at all and thinking of taking a short trip before work again. Will I end up somewhere better or worse? Well, let's turn that into a non-yes or no, because we get better luck with that. You want to shuffle? Here's those two.
Thank you.
All right, Jenny. So we're going to pull you a charm here. Oh, interesting. Okay, we got a music note. Or what did I forgot what that's called?
Treble clef?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Treble clef. Very good.
Right on, Michelle.
My mother was a piano teacher.
Oh,
there you
okay.
go.
I used to take music, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and a treble clef. So what does that mean in music? Do you know? Anybody?
Well, it's the higher notes,
Okay.
and opposed to the bass notes.
Okay.
I would say. I love the swirliness of it.
It's
Just
pretty.
the shape of it. Isn't it funny that we talked about reversals and
And we've had a lot
Today,
in reverse.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, honestly, Jenny, you don't look like you're ready to work. You didn't love your job. You're not really ready to dive into the next thing. And I love that you're not feeling insecure about it now. You might get to that point, but I do feel like this is right now you're kind of taking the high road based on that treble clef. And I just don't feel like you're going to be in a rush to figure out your direction. You know, even when you get back, I know that you'll end up doing something, but I really think you're going to kind of take a break.
That's how it feels to me too. I'm a little stumped on this one because I'm not having a lot coming into, I'm not receiving a lot of information intuitively here. I'm going back to the question. It was interesting how you asked it, Jenny. You asked, will it be better or worse? And what I'm going to invite you to do is just, you're going to manifest that's going to be for your best and highest good. And just lose the word worse.
Right, yeah.
And just lose it. It feels to me that, here's what I keep drawing in on Megan, and give me, if you have some insight into this. I keep looking at this Nine of Pentacles. I consider her the independent woman card in reverse. What are you getting with that?
And that's interesting because Jenny actually is a very independent woman.
That's why I was asking you about the reversal.
Right. And this doesn't suit her, but she has gone through some changes. She had a surgery recently and stuff. And so literally just went back to work. So I'm kind of interested that she went ahead and quit. But I think there's more about recovery and taking a break right now. And she is financially stable. And so I'm thinking that there's just not going to be the focus on returning to work right away. I would say take the break and resituate yourself, Jenny. This looks like a good time for it. And it's an 8 and a 9, which is also out of a suit of 10. So we're looking at moving towards closure. But I don't think you're going to be in a rush in February to kind of move to the next level. This is going to be a little rediscovery for you.
Right, and I think the treble clef, just throwing it in, it may sound a little cliche, but take the time to enjoy yourself. Listen to high vibration, whatever that is for you, music and things that, and do things that you enjoy instead of thinking, okay, I've got to be right on trying to find something else. Just enjoy that time. A lot of times we don't do that when we have it.
Right.
And especially that makes sense to me if she's just coming off of surgery. Sometimes we do feel that a little more dependent, even though we're not, just on, because we don't feel so great.
Yeah.
And we're recovering. Okay,
Yes.
so that makes a little more sense to me. But this one was a tough one for me, Jenny. I guess the only thing I'm really getting for you is just to know that whatever you, it seems to me from these cards, you have the ability to manifest what you want when you're ready to do it.
Yeah, yeah. And she's such a fun person. So I hate saying that you were, in a job that you weren't having a good time with. So, but I think this is a good time for a break.
Yeah, that happens with a lot of people. I mean, we find ourselves at a place in life where at least she made a move on that,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
a lot of people don't. So,
That is true.
yeah. So thank you, Jenny.
All right, I've got Ashley here checking in on the RNCN Facebook page. I appreciate that.
Oh,
Yay.
great.
She says, "Ooh, happy to listen. I'm starting a new job and a new chapter in life. Any insights would be amazing."
All right. And we got the phone booth. That's kicking it old school a little bit there.
Is that the little Doctor Who thing?
Yeah, it is the Doctor Who
I don't
thing.
watch Doctor Who, but maybe I'm the only person in the world who doesn't. Do you?
No,
Have you
I don't
ever?
either.
Yeah.
So. Okay. So
new job and new chapter. I'm gonna let you draw.
Well, and the phone booth looks kind of like a new building. So, or the idea of a high-rise building. So there is some ideas about being, sort of locked inside a little bit. As you go into this new job, this is going to be a little bit of redefining for yourself. So you might feel a little out of balance with that. And don't forget to eat. Don't forget to take a break and breathe. And because, when you're in a new position, you want to do everything right. And so I feel like that transformation for you is going to feel a little bit challenging, but I also think that's normal and healthy. And I do think you've got a really good mentor type person in this job. Strong leadership capabilities. I would say I'm leaning towards male on that, which I traditionally would with kings, but when I'm with Michelle, I tend to be more gender neutral, or I'm feeling that way today. But we have a King of Pentacles here, and and I do feel like there's going to be some high expectations for you. And you're eager to meet those. Because I do think you're going to like working for this person and working towards these new goals. What did you get?
I get a couple things. I get that you potentially, where you said I'm starting a new job and a new chapter. I feel like I want you to invite you to completely close the chapter on the book, the book on the chapter before, because it feels as though there's something where you didn't completely feel like you were treated fairly, and some sort of situation regarding that. And I feel like now is a time that you're going to be transported and you have a clean slate. And so try really hard to not look backwards. I love it that you say, I'm starting a new chapter. That doesn't mean we get rid of all the whole book, but really no looking backwards and look forward. I feel like you have this ability to transport yourself. This is what I'm getting from this phone booth, to transport yourself into greater heights. I'm getting almost like a rocket propulsion. This guy always looks like this to me, the King of Pentacles. I do feel with Megan that there'll be some high expectations, but that's okay. You can meet those demands and even exceed them when you are appreciated. And I feel like at this job you're going to be more appreciated. So don't just expect what happened before. And I'm not sure if I'm right on that, but it feels very strongly to me. But there was some sense of, don't look for it if you don't feel it, but there was some sense of maybe just not getting the recognition or not being treated fairly in that last chapter. So just move into this next one. It feels good to me. It feels like there's a lot of drive and a lot of support.
Yeah, I have to agree with Michelle. I pick up on a lot of that energy that she's seeing as well, and that looks great. I think this is going to be such a good fit, and I really love what Michelle said about that you're going to thrive on the energy of this place and the sense of reward and fulfillment and appreciation that you receive there. So
It also feels like a pretty sound place of business that you took this new job. It feels fairly solid. I don't know if it's new or old in its being solid, like it's been around forever, or it's just a newer business and it's solid. But it feels like it has a pretty firm foundation for you that can propel you into more. And I believe there's a lot you have to offer to this company.
Yep, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that seems positive to me, but just look forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. We got time for a couple more, I think. I've got Allison here. She says, "Hi, ladies. New to the area. I need guidance with my teenager. He's having issues with feeling grounded here and trying to grow up too quickly."
Okay. All right. Let's look at this teenager. Oh, well, how funny is that? We got the, it looks like a fairy godmother charm. So just something to think about as we go into this, that, sometimes blessings come in ways that we're not really looking for them. And the first card up is the Sun, which is really the happiest card in the deck. And it is about being joyful and appreciating the little things in life, not getting caught up in the big things. He is, he's pointing to this in this image, a mirror, which is supposed to be the sun with the mother's face in it. And, I think for him, it's trying to figure out how to be carefree. And there is a transition between growing a little older and maturing, as well as finding his way in the new place. And this is the first time, looking at the Two of Swords, there's some decisions that maybe he's making on his own. And I think part of that might be things you're encouraging him to do. And I'm getting that sort of from this nurturing fairy godmother, that you're allowing, him to kind of go his own way a little bit. But I think for him that might be feeling a little too difficult. And there's, I'm not sure how old he is, but there's always that fine line between encouragement and, pushing them out on their own a little bit. I do think he feels a little bit lonely here, but that usually can transition through. What are you getting, Michelle?
I like this fairy godmother. There is someone that I feel it almost as someone who is watching over him from a different realm that he was close to. I'm not sure if he even potentially he wasn't close to, just energetically his soul is close to this person. So I see that more as a spirit guide, if you're open to that. And this is a very happy card, the Sun, but I feel I'm reading this a little differently. I'm reading it as though that was something that he was pretty happy, and it feels like he's maybe turned a little more sullen. Some of that may have to do with age, but I do believe some of it is with this move. I believe you really need to keep a careful eye on him right now. That is not to put fear in you. I mean, I had teenage boys, and I needed to keep a careful eye on them. It's hard to know when they're just going through something hormonal or growing up, and that push-pull that Megan, this isn't different actually, Megan, the push-pull you talked about of when the mother comes in and when we pull back.
Right.
I feel like he's at a crossroads. I'm just going to be honest with you. I feel like this is a critical juncture and point in his life where I would really make sure you have all the information. I'd almost be a little bit invasive and a little bit overbearing with him until he finds his footing, and make sure that he does. I believe he will, and that the Sun will come back around as long as he has some good, strong support. But I would make sure that you are very apprised of what's going on and who he is choosing to hang out with. It's going to take him a little while, but it's a critical point right now, I believe. And I think that's something you already know. I think you know it's critical, and I'm just going to validate that for you, that it is critical. I don't mean that serious, but just make sure you have all the facts. Don't be blinded to what is going on with him.
Yeah, I would agree that I think that's why I was picking up on that push-pull. It's like there's a tendency to maybe want to step away, but I kind of think you have to be involved on this, and he needs you to be. He needs to be. He needs to feel like a kid. He's not ready to feel like a grown-up. And that sense of regression could be from the move itself, because that's kind of normal for kids to regress a little bit or take a step back when they're in a new situation.
It's tough. Yeah. But I do see it turning around, but just keep a careful eye. He does have others from beyond that are helping also, and you can call on those depending on your belief system. But just really, I'm going to add one thing. Don't be naive. And I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong. I'm just saying just be the mom who just looks at everything.
And I actually feel like this will get better probably next month. So if you can be really vigilant with him for the month of February, I think that as you go into March, that's going to transition out past that.
It's interesting you said that, because I was getting more whatever it would be when it starts turning warmer.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Although today is kind of a fluke.
Yeah. Like maybe, a little bit after spring break or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Did you have one more, Matt?
Yeah, I can give you one more, and I should point out there were twice as many that we couldn't get
Oh, wow.
to. So
Okay, good.
check back in next time we do this.
Yes, please.
So this comes to us from Christina, and she says, "I would love either a general reading for 2019 or a reading for home buying, if possible. Love to you too."
Well,
okay.
thank you,
Oh,
Christina.
thanks. Yeah, that's sweet.
you.
Oh, home buying. Perfect. I got the handbag. So it's a little purse. All right. So we'll see what comes up if it's about home buying or 2019. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we have 3 of Swords in reverse and 4 of Cups in reverse. And it's interesting. We have been talking a lot about reversals recently. So and we have a show coming up on that soon. So more, if you're into cards, that's a good one to listen to.
Yes.
Do you have something off the bat?
I do.
Okay.
Christina, I am going to say, I don't know if you're already down the home buying path. I would hold off for a while. I don't know if you can respond live, just if you're willing to tell us whether or not, how far you are down that road. I personally feel like if you are already looking, really set your budget, set your limit. Don't let them push you into more.
Okay.
Is what I'm getting. I don't mean to be negative, but I just have to be honest. It's what I'm getting.
Well, and I feel like if you've already found one that you guys are thinking about, it feels complicated and tough, and it really isn't going to end up being the right fit. There is something else that is way better that's coming for you, and it might be more like April, or if you think you found something in March. If there's any iffy stuff, or if there's like weird things going on with the funding or financing and all that, don't stress over it, because there's a perfect opportunity that's coming up. And interesting, the numbers 3 and 4, it might be more that that what you're looking for comes in April. Not totally sure, but
it's interesting because we're pretty close.
Yeah.
I actually added the cards, so I was thinking more like July. So
oh, interesting.
Yeah, so
Okay.
April to July maybe time frame. But I love the hope you're giving. I just want you to be careful if that's still a possibility for
And
you to be careful.
she says she's not bought yet or sold her place yet. So
Okay, thank you. Well, then with that, I would say really check in with your gut. Like if there is anything that is it's stressful no matter what, but if it's overly stressful and you're trying to justify something with this person, and it turned upside down. I mean, from our angle, I just feel like there is something perfect for you, as Megan said. I would think April to July, and don't compromise your well-being and your budget for something that you that is outside of your price range. Just to be
Right.
very blunt.
Yeah, and I think you'll know when it comes up. It's really going to be the right thing at the right time. And so if there's anything that feels like you're trying to fit, you're a D and you're trying to put on a C cup, that just doesn't work. Sorry. Great analogy there.
I think I did that today.
Anyway, that will help you to navigate this. Don't force yourself into something uncomfortable. It's not, if it's
If it
really
doesn't fit,
awkward,
yeah.
The shoe don't fit, don't wear it.
Don't worry. I mean, seriously, it's a big, for me, it's actually a big caution. I'm trying to answer whether or not, about you putting your house on the market. That's not where I'm getting the caution. I'm getting
Right,
the
it's
caution
the
on the other
purchase.
end, on the purchase.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for listening today. And for sending in your questions. And we are going to be doing this the first Wednesday of every month. So please, tune in and send us your questions. We're happy to take them. What else? Anything else? Okay.
Just give us a 5-star rating on any podcast if you enjoy us. Just pop on there. Always listen to us on all the Facebook channels and the podcasts, wherever. We're pretty much everywhere. So for those of you who have trouble finding us, just shoot us a text. Let us know, and we'll help you get there.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks so much for Third Eye Thinking, and we'll listen to you, or we'll be here next week.
And thanks to Matt, our producer, also.
Yes, we love Matt.
You're very welcome.
See you
Happy
next
to be
time.
here.
Thank you.